who's the Vice-Chancellor at the Ashoka University, also an astrophysicist. Mr. Chaudhury, if you could also take this entire conversation forward in terms of the splashdown recovery, which many have already highlighted is as critical as is the preparation for that entire takeoff. And so take us through why, having spent 18 days in space, and now the splashdown recovery aspect is going to be extremely critical for all the 4 members of AXIOM-4.
I think they have gone through many phases of life on the space station, going to it and coming back to it. And all of these are not identical, of course. Being in microgravity conditions on the space station, and then on the way back, they've been through several phases of different conditions. As you know, as they're coming down through the atmosphere in the last stages, they actually had not just microgravity, but the other extreme, very high gravity, as they fell through the atmosphere. And all this takes a toll on their bodies. As you know, some of the experiments that were being done were also to monitor glucose, monitor various bodily parameters. All that is very important. This is being recorded. This is also actively being sought, these parameters. For all of them, this is going to be important in the next few days to look at the data and how their bodies responded to it. They're also doing some active experiments for future astronauts.
It's very interesting that you talk about those active experiments, and that's why I want to bring you in on not just when it comes to say health of the astronauts, ensuring, because if you look at Group Captain Shukla's own work, he is also closely associated with monitoring diabetes via the glucometers. How is that now going to contribute to India's Gaganyaan mission, not to forget studying space agriculture as well?
Yeah, so some of the experiments were to do with the growth of food that's viable in space for future missions. As you know, Group Captain Shukla is part of the future Gaganyaan mission. And for India in particular, this is a new activity to go to send our astronauts into space. The kinds of food that they will eat there, they will grow there, not just in the first few missions, but in the long term, when we will have bases on the moon and things like that. This is the beginning of these experiments of how our kind of food is grown in these conditions, but also to look at the viability of food in general, the kinds of food they will eat, how they're digested, how the body is responding to them. It might be very different in microgravity conditions, in particular the balance of various things and the environment. So all these experiments are important, and the very, very cleverly devised experiments, not just the Indian experiments, but if you look at all the 60 experiments that were on board, they were all very cleverly designed. Many of them were biological experiments involving the modern wearable devices that they have. Now, it will take a long time to analyze the data that they are bringing back. But on board themselves, they monitored a few things, and they will have some quick answers to some of the questions that the scientific groups
Absolutely. I want to take that forward with Mr. Kapoor as well. Mr. Kapoor, this is an achievement which is indeed going to be a stepping stone for our own human crewed missions, as has been highlighted by the ISRO chairperson as well. Take that point forward for us in terms of what this will mean for India's own human crewed missions.
For example, one of the experiments was with the microalgae, and because a certain variety has quite a lot of nutrients, so idea is that the astronauts must grow their own food while in space, or whether based in a space station on the moon, or even if, in the case of long haul flights, say to Mars. See, this is very important because they carry a limited supply of food from the Earth. The astronauts live in the space station. It's almost like a home, except for the microgravity and certain other conditions. So there is a regular food supply from ground, and SpaceX has specialized in that. There are cargo services by it, and they also bring back waste of all kinds. So this is one very important thing. And then you see the other experiment that he conducted was the sprouting of the the methi seeds as well as the green gram. And it is said that it happened faster than could happen on the Earth. So that's a encouraging thing. So obviously, space agriculture is an integral part, and you are space farmer basically. So I think this kind of experiments will always be done in the future programs of ISRO also, and so that we can have a certain our hand on any of this kind of things. One of the very important experiments was how the human interaction with the computers. That apart, there is a certain thing called, say, cosmic radiation and the radiation, high energy radiation that comes from the sun, electrons, protons, and helium nuclei. They are constantly impinging on the space station, and then human body is exposed to that. So I'm told that the dosage that a human being, while staying on Earth, gets in 1 year, you get that dosage in 1 day while in space. So that aspect also is of great concern. And obviously, astronauts have stayed in International Space Station for more than a year. So that also has been a great experiment of its own kind, and how they come back and how they are able to maintain their health. Here I could see Mr. Shukla, very hale and hearty, although his mother said that he looks somewhat tired. But for us, his smile and his greeting was very encouraging. It's a great inspiration for all our
Right.
younger generation.
It indeed is going to be practical knowledge, and which will be very crucial for India and its own human space mission as well. Many thanks to you all for joining in. Would like to especially thank Professor Dhaka and of course Mr. Kapoor, even Sayan and even Mr. Raychaudhury for joining in on our live and rolling coverage. And with that, we're slipping into a quick break. Stay tuned to CNN News 18 as we return with the latest news updates.